Standby one. Let's go.
You are about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the Lance Serve Show.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Brother Keston Show. I'm trying to get my head right over here so I don't block my brother out. And today we're going to speak about the importance of going to a higher consciousness. And I have to tell you, the conversation that we had was lit. So this is going to be a continuation of it. As we talk, let me know on the feedback tip how you can hear us. It's been a while since we did a show. This may come as a surprise because YouTube took my ability to live stream away until September 26th, but with a few crafty words, when you're a smart black man, you can rectify the situation, and they replaced it because they was wrong. Anyway, let me shake my brother's hand. Brother Keston, I want to thank you again for taking the time out of a very, very busy schedule. And yes, gravity works as always. And I'm going to turn the camera on you. I am here. Information man. I want to talk to you later on tonight. 777, I'm glad you're here. Shelly, loud and clear, thank you so much. We will be opening the lines up in a little while, a little later, but we're going to let Keston, Brother Keston, get into his flow because you know he's a lightning rod for truth and justice, and he's going to share it here wholesale. Okay, here we go. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in at this particular time, as usual. Always big respect for that. And, thanks for the support, as always. But, we must continue to grow, because the first thing that we want to know about life when a baby is born or a child is born, they don't stay at the same level. So now that we come into consciousness to that point, we have to continue to elevate ourselves. You see, because elevation is important. Because just saying, okay, I'm conscious, but to what level is our consciousness? You see, if we are still in this thing where we are going into the Jesus thing and all these different things, where is our consciousness? If we are still looking to white supremacy in any way for guidance and direction in our life, we are staying the same. So in order for us to elevate, we have to pass all of that. We have to realize, okay, now that we come to this level of consciousness, what is our next move? You see, you have to start to ask yourself, how am I eating? How am I eating? How am I really dealing with my friends and family? How am I dealing with the people that I come in contact with every day? So these are the different things that we have to take as a marker. You see, we have to use these things to measure where we're at. in order to go forward? Are we looking deeper into our history? You see, what is it that we need to look for? Because there's many traps, you see, because if you look right now, let's give you some example of things. And I often say this to brothers because we have to be aware of what's going on around us. Now, if you go home and turn on your TV and you go to these history channel that they set up on white supremacy TV, okay, now you see they're bringing out about all these things about Africa and about different things. You have to ask yourself, why are they doing these things? The reality is that they catching on. They realize that we are coming to this level of consciousness that we know that all the things that we have been told and learned, it's nothing but lies. You see, so now they are trying to head off all of these things. Okay, so they are giving you some of your true history. Why are they doing it? They are doing it to get you back into that particular frame of mind, to make you feel like they're on your side. And so we have to get away from that. We have to be above that, so to speak. You see, we have to be 10 steps ahead of them, because this level of consciousness will tell us why they are doing what they are doing. You see, so all of a sudden, you know, I remember the other day when this girl, Megan Martin, married to that Prince Harry guy, you know, and a lot of black people say, see, now, you know, it's like they believe like the Queen is on black people's side. And the Queen never been on black people's side. Are they never going to be? You see, this is basically to get black people into a state of mind where you start to feel comfortable again. You see, so you have to realize that all of these things that these people are doing is a continual trick that they are playing on you, or on all of us. They are trying to roll back in, because they realize now, this time that we are living in, more and more black people are coming into consciousness, and especially the young youths today are coming into consciousness. So they have to use something to head that off. And so that's why we have to stay awake in this particular time. You see, you come to consciousness and you are still running out to getting the latest cell phone, the latest this, the latest that, because it's important, okay? These things are non-essential to conscious people. You need a cell phone? Yes. Do you need a computer? Yes. But do you need the latest? No. We have to realize what these people are doing. They're testing you in every way. The black community, especially, are always going to be under fire. And that's why I said, when I hear people in the black community say, okay, we have to include all these minority groups, when are we going to learn that none of these other minority group does not care about us as black people? And it's very important that I emphasize these things, because a lot of us always, you hear a lot of brothers, they get on these platforms and they will talk about all these minority groups, but none of these minority groups does not care about black people. We must know that these things need to register within us, that none of these people care about us or our issues that we are suffering. Because as soon as they get into these black minority groups and they get propelled forward, black people stand behind them, push them, then they leave you behind and they want nothing to do with you. So we have to be true to ourselves. You see, because all of them come to know who we are. If you say you're conscious and you're still separating black people one from another, then you haven't come to that level of consciousness that you need to be. If you feel that a Jamaican black brother or an African black brother or a black American black brother or a brother from the Caribbean or from any other country as a black person is not the same as you, then you haven't come to that level of consciousness. Because the fact that we all have been divided up in parts and pieces.
So we have to recognize what these people are doing to us on a daily basis. And that's what greater consciousness is going to help you to do. Is to dispel the lies that these people, white supremacy, continue to spread. Just like I said before, when I first come to America, what I was told, oh, you're better than the black American. How can I be better than my brother or my sister when we are one people? And some of us have the tendency to believe these things. And so we put down our brothers. You see, because we believe the lies. And even still, when some of us come to this consciousness, how we say we are experiencing greater consciousness, we still do the same thing. It's this continuing separation and division. I hear brothers that will say, oh, it's only about, you got to focus just on black America. You haven't really come to that level of consciousness if that's what you're thinking. We as a people, as the indigenous people of Earth, and I have to emphasize that because it's very important, as the indigenous people of this planet, we must come to true consciousness where we recognize each other. As soon as you see a black brother or a black sister, he's not an African, or he's not a Jamaican, or he's not from St. Lucia or St. Martin or wherever you want to call, or from England or wherever, he's you. You're looking at you. You are looking at the original people. That's what you're looking at. That's what greater consciousness is going to do for you. When you look at your brother or your sister and you see they start a business, greater consciousness is going to help you to support their business instead of looking ways to criticize their business. That's what it's going to do for you. It's elevating you to that level where what you're doing now is putting white supremacy aside. And you're not supporting the Indian and the Chinese and all these other nations that don't support you. But you're going to look for every way to support your community. You see? So what you start to do now is to withdraw from white supremacy. I'm not telling you not to talk to them, not to deal with them. You're going to have to deal with them. Okay? But you're going to let everybody know that you are for black empowerment, for uplifting the black people that everybody's trying to put their foot on, so to speak. You see, so we have to really come to that kind of consciousness. You see, we need to make sure that we are on the right level, and so it's a self-examination that we ask ourselves every day, where am I at when it comes to consciousness? You see, you have to raise that elevation. And this is what it tells you when you look at your brothers and your sisters. And when you hear other black people criticizing each other, then you put a stop to it. You see, if we're going to build our community, if we're going to build this nation of black people, you see, sometimes people say, you know, I hear one sister say the other day, oh, you can't build a nation within a nation. Okay? So let me ask you the question. How come the Spanish come, the so-called people who call themselves Spanish, which they are not, because Spanish is not a people, it's a language. But they come here, because that's what they label themselves as. They come here. You go to Miami, you see the Cubans. Okay? What, haven't they built this community, or this country, so to speak, almost in America? What about the Chinese? Huh? What about the Indians? They build their community. These so-called Jews, who got a better hold on this society more than them? You see what I'm saying? So what we're talking about is for black people coming together and build community. By building community, you are building your nation. Because what are we going to do now? When we start from that level, we're going to start building back what? Africa. That's where we're going to take our money to. Just like the Chinese take their money to China. That's what we are as a people going to do. We're going to go to Africa and start to build businesses there and support that country. That we can build black people up. we can raise the level of black people and chase out the Bill Gates out of Africa and all these people who are trying to do all these evil things to our brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? Going over there and giving all these kids these poison. You see, cutting down the birth rate of African people. You see, bringing all these drugs and all these different things from America to Africa. Bringing all these diseases into Africa. We are the ones that have to stop these things. Because we know what they're doing. You see, they are raping that country in every way and trying to downpress the country, trying to downpress the people. So greater consciousness is going to help us to put an end to these people who are trying to still dominate Africa after hundreds of years of colonization and domination. You see, I don't want people to tell me that I come to consciousness and you're still talking about celebrity. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about why these so-called black people are not stepping into black community that reach to this level in this country. I don't want to hear that, because the fact is that we know that they're not going to. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But if you have consciousness, you know it's not going to happen from there. So what we are waiting on, I don't want to hear people say, oh, you know, I'm waiting till I win the lottery then for us to start build this thing. That is no kind of consciousness. Consciousness says that we get together as brothers and sisters and start build from small beginnings to go into our community, find out where the schools are, where young children are that need our help. They may need some help with their homework. So we have to, you know, might know a single mother in the black community that is struggling, working hard to uplift our children. And so what do? Do you just stand aside and look at that? We have to step into a different way of thinking, because that's what greater consciousness is going to do for us. Help to raise those up in the black community. You see, we know a older sister in the black community needs some work to be done on our house. What do? We go in there and we help. That's the things that we are going to start doing. We got to find out where's these things, where's these needs in the black community. And so what we're going to have to start to do as a people is start to organize. You see, organize and centralize. Find all these brothers and sisters that got the skill and the ability. Even if you got no skill and no ability, you can learn. It's not difficult. And that's how we're going to come together to build this nation of black people that has been lost for so long. Because at the end of the day, as black people, we want to know one thing. And this one thing is very important that you know and never forget. This is a black planet. Let nobody else tell you anything otherwise. Okay? You dig into the earth and put a seed, it's blackness. You turn off all the lights, it's blackness. Okay? The sun goes out, guess what? Blackness. Don't ever forget that. No, let no one deceive you and tell you anything otherwise. You can live in the sun all day long, and if it shines 24 hours, you still would be able to survive it. Guess what? The rest of the people die off already. So that tells you in itself something powerful and special about you. So these are consciousness that you need to know, and all of us need to know. It's very, very important that those things resonate with us. You see, so we have to look into our deeper self. And anytime you're looking for answers out there, then your level of consciousness is very low. When you start to look within yourself for all the answers that you need, then you know you come to greater consciousness. When you realize that the God is within you and not somewhere out there, then you know where your consciousness is. You see, when you stop telling people that you can't, then you know where your consciousness is. You see, everything that, as I said, these devices that they give you in this country, in this world that you're living in today, the purpose of it is to take away your consciousness, is to dumb you down as much as possible, that they can think for you instead of you thinking for yourself. That's what they want you to do. That means they are in full control of you. When you sit down and watch these television programs that take away your consciousness, then who is conscious and who is not? I'm not telling you not to watch television, but don't sit there and waste hours and hours of precious time that you could be reading an important book on your own history. You see what I'm saying? With brothers like yourself has done these research and put the information there right at your fingertips. Okay? The things that white supremacy put on television is to fill your head with nonsense and to control your thoughts, to control your ability to think and reason, that you don't listen to yourself. That's what they do. And we have to realize every day that we get up, we are being bombarded 24/7 with news cycle, with all these different things. Don't get caught up into these things. Because when you get caught up into these things, they are distraction. You have to learn to avoid all the distraction. You know, there is a passage that they put in the Bible that says, broad and spacious is the road that is leading to destruction, and narrow and cramped is the road leading off into life. In a sense, you have to look at that and see the truth in it. Most people follow what they set out as a trap. Okay? Because to them, you know, when you say, people say, oh, I want the easiest way. If you want the easiest way, you got a problem. You see, because if you realize that the current is against you, just like a salmon that is swimming upstream, the current of white supremacy is constantly against you, you must go against the grain in order to come out successful. If you just swim downstream just like every other fish, they know they have you in their palm. They have you at will. But greater consciousness will help you to swim against the current, to go upstream. You see, most people don't see the wisdom in these things. Everything that white supremacy tell you to do, then do the opposite. Everything that they give you, you have to reverse it to see the truth in it. You see, someone said, why they keep in the Constitution about, black people are 3/5 of a human? And I said to them, because they are 3/5 of a human. Black people are the true human. That's the difference. You see, why they ask them the question, why you can't stay in the sun? Why you have to run from the sun? Or why if you go out there and stay, you have to put on all this lotion and all this stuff on your skin in order to protect you from the sun? It should be natural for you to live in the sun, and it doesn't harm you like that. And so they come up with this bullcrap excuse to tell you, I'll get cancer. You see, the thing is, it tells you something is wrong someplace. How many black person you see running around putting on suntan lotion, worrying about skin cancer? You see, if you think about black people, most of the cancers that you get, guess where it comes from? From the food that they're giving to you. The diet of white supremacy is what is killing you. If you eat the true diet of an African, you won't have the effect of these things. People say, well, people in Africa, they having cancer. Because Africa has been a colonized country. The continent has been colonized. And so guess what? Where a lot of their food is coming from? Right here in America and in Europe. By the colonizer. They're not eating an African diet. These are things that we need to realize. They talk about malaria and all these disease and AIDS that in Africa. Where did they come from? In labs. They create these things. Greater consciousness will lead you to all these answers. To make you realize what is truly happening around you on a daily basis. And so you must know for yourself. The God within you will tell you that, will show you that. You don't need to read it in a book. People often talk about common sense. I said, no, it's not common sense, it's uncommon sense because most people don't have it. Most people, that you can't get them to reason. You see, so we have to elevate ourselves to that level of consciousness where we see through things. We see what they're doing before they do it. That's what it's going to tell you. You see, that's why we have to grow. Never stay the same. Because if you do, you will be controlled by the system. You will get lost into the system and be like those people asking the question, what is going on? You see, just like when the system right now is taking on a whole different shape. Everybody's wondering, most people is wondering what's going on. Us as conscious people should know what's going on. We should already in the know as to why things is shifting the way that it is. That the universe is in gear. Because the hands are the scale of justice must balance out. These are the level that greater consciousness is going to lead you to. You see, so you must know many things that you tell people that these people around you, white supremacy, are doing on a regular basis. Like I tell people, whenever they put something out on the market and they tell the public, it's been there for a long time. It is nothing new. But that's how skillful they are in their thinking. They're not going to warn you up front that I'm feeding you some animal that has been genetically modified. They're not going to tell you that up front. They're going to give it to you to eat for a period of time and they watch who's going to suffer or die from it. You know, and then it's, oh, you know, we're just getting ready to put this on the market. It's already on the market. If they tell you that tomorrow, next year, they're going to have some human being that they create in lab coming out on the street, no, they've been on the street already. That's how they operate. When they tell you, oh, we're giving you flat screen TV, everybody's jumping, hooping and hopping and running out to buy these things and sleeping in front of the store, these things already been in existence for a long time, for decades before they put them out on the street. When you got your first cell phone and you think that, oh man, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. This thing's been out there for a very long time. They just decide to put it in the public hand. You have to know these things. You have to realize how clever these people are, that they are planning things hundreds of years in advance. They plan cities hundreds of years in advance. They just have, if they don't live to carry it out, then their generation, their next generation or the next generation will carry it out in their family. That's how these people operate. You see, the people, the puppet masters that is sitting behind the scene, that's how they operate. And they make sure that these things are done. You see. And that's why you have to realize that they are the devil that they are. You see, all of us running around, just like when I used to tell people, I say, you know what? Listen. And most people, they never catch on to this thing when I say, why is it that America, every time they're going to go fight a war with somebody and they say, oh, they are the bad guys and we are the good guys. Something is wrong with that picture. And if you can't see that as a conscious person, that means something is wrong with you. That these people always saying we are the good guys. Which one of us, just ask yourself this question. You have brothers and sisters? If you have one brother or one sister that always say they are the good guy, what's wrong with that picture? So that is the only one that came out perfect? You see, then you have the Jesus syndrome. You see, we have to realize what is going on in the system. I remember when I used to go to the banks, and they're talking about ATM machines and all these things, and these tellers encourage you to go and use them, and you tell them, say, listen, in a few years' time, you won't have no job. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. Go to the bank right now and see how much teller is working inside of a bank. Go inside of there. I used to tell them that, and they look at me and laugh. I used to go down to Home Depot. When they talk about self-checkout, I say, you're going to check yourself out of a job. They look at me like I'm stupid. But you see, I see it coming. You see what I'm saying? When these phones, when you start calling places and you hear these automated service coming on, and I used to tell people, I say, you're going to lose, all these people are going to lose their job. Okay? What happened? Now most places, even they having these automated service calling you. Oh, this is Sarah. And you know there's not a Sarah of any humankind that is talking to you. It's a computer. Or you call a place and there's a machine that you're talking to. Press 1 if you want this. Press 2 if you need that. Press 3 if you need that. Do you realize that there's millions of people being put out of job, if not billions of people being put out of job every year in every country around the world? What do you think is going to happen after a while? You are being obsolete. They are moving. They will kill off billions of humans to carry out their purpose. These devils have they don't have no feelings. They don't think like you. They don't reason like you. Because black people, especially, you have the God quality within you. That you don't think that way. You are the most forgiving people on this planet. Because no matter what they do to you, you still forgive them and you love them and you think that they're going to do good by you. But greater consciousness tell you that is never going to happen. So we must realize how we've been tricked and bamboozled in every way, every day. And don't tell me you're conscious if you don't realize these things. We have to wake up and see what is going on. And that's why we need to teach our children these things, because it's very, very important that we teach them about consciousness. Let them speak and reason with themselves. Tell them how to do it. Show them. Teach them their history. Tell them how great their ancestors were and are. It's important that we do these things. If you look at, you hear black people saying, oh, my kid, they don't want to listen to me today because they know a lot of things that you tell them is a lie. They don't want to hear about no bloody Santa Claus and all this cockamania crap. Tell your children their true history. Show them who they are. Let them realize. You're saying they are rebelling. They are rebelling against all the lies that has been told. You see, because justice is going to be carried out. And like I said before, the ancestors cannot work with people who are denying who they are. We are denying who we are. We want to be somebody else. You look at black people, even black people middle-aged, they're bleaching their skin to become white. Who can deal with that kind of ignorance? I think our ancestors look at people like us sometimes when we do these things and they are ashamed of us. The first thing I said, they must be saying, is this what we fought for? You imagine what Brother Malcolm X and brothers like that would say right now? Brother Marcus Garvey and those brothers? You imagine what they would say at this point right now? You imagine what somebody like Bob Marley would say when he see what black people are doing to themselves? You imagine that? Seriously. And we say we are conscious. But yet we continue to try to please the master. That's not conscious by any means. You see, we need to make these things known, and we got to be, this is nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be afraid to speak about. We have to speak these things, let them resonate in our community. Make when black people step out there, they know who they are. They walk like they know who they are. They look at people and let people look aside instead of for them to look down to the ground. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to train our children to do. It's very, very important that they don't walk and when people look at them, they look down in the ground. You see, because the master, they don't like that. White supremacy don't like when they talk to you. Oh, you see, they want you to make you feel like you have something to be ashamed of. Or you have something to hide. You see, sometimes I say these things and people think, oh yeah, he's prejudiced. No, I'm not. I'm a racist. No. Did I start this thing? No, I did not. You see, we have to realize the importance of knowing who we truly are. Stop hiding from who you are. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And that's what you need to tell your children. You see, sometimes, parents used to tell the children, oh, you got to be 3 times better than them. You're already 10 times better than them. So why you need to be 3 times better than them? When you are the creative ones. Why you need to be better? You're already better. So we need to stop telling our children those foolishness. You got to be this way to get the job. No. You just teach your children to know who they are, and they will do what they need to do. And you will see the difference. You will see how they resonate. You will see how they shine. Because they already have it within them. They were created that way. But we dumb them down. You see, we just need to slow down and think, reason, and allow the Creator within us to guide us. That's the only guide that you need. You don't need all these books that they're writing out there to tell you how to be smart. You're already smart. Why you need to read these books to tell you about being smart? You see what I'm saying? Maybe they need to read those books. You see, believe me, I can go out in the street and I can find several black men that cannot read, and I bet he can outsmart the best college graduate of theirs any day of the week. You see, so we need to know. We need to know. Sometimes you have some guys that they never take up a book and read, and you sit down and you hold conversation with them. You say, how come you know all of that? How come? Because the Creator within them is speaking. That's what He's allowing to happen. You see. So we as a people, we have to sit down together and we have to reason with each other and we have to correct each other where we need correction. We have to come together to build up our communities. We have to come together to help those that are in need. This is very important. This is the time for it. Don't get too caught up into the system where you're so busy, because that's what they want you to do. The distraction is to keep you caught up into the system that you don't realize, that you lose your consciousness and you don't realize what's going on. Some of us is not even taking time for ourselves, because we have to ask ourselves this question. How much of us can go 1 hour without our cell phone? They call ourselves conscious. Can you go an hour without checking your cell phone? Can you go 30 minutes without checking your cell phone? I understand if you have a business. You see. But when we so caught up, and if you look sometime at the text message that you're getting, it is of none importance a lot of times. I'm not saying no. You see. But we can't focus. You go to work, and if you have a business and people working for you, they will go to the bathroom just to check their cell phone every 15 or 20 minutes. You see. So we have to realize the importance of keep a check on ourselves to see where we're at with consciousness. Because these things are going to tell you, when you go to a job and you're working for someone, you must know that you're not on your time in the sense of the word. They are paying you for that time that you're being there. And you are being disrespectful, really, in a great sense of the word, when you are there taking advantage of those people's time. Just like those people that take a 15-minute cigarette break every 15 minutes, they have to have a cigarette. Every 45 minutes, they have to have a cigarette. You see, you're addicted to this device, your chip that they give you. You see, and like I said, most of us think that they're going to cut you and literally plant a chip inside of you. You already have the chip in your hand. That you're walking around and you can't, every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, you have to check it. You see? We have to realize that. It's like, if we leave home without the cell phone, we feel like half our life is gone. I have to turn back even if I'm going to be late for work. So how did we survive without these things before? How did we survive? People say, I don't know what I would do if I don't have a cell phone. You would be living, and you would be living better. You see, we just don't realize that a lot of these things that we have in our hand, that they are not essential to good living. You see, many of us is still running to Murder King, you know, and all these different fast food joints. You see, oh man, I can't afford to cook. But the food that they're feeding you is killing you, it's poisoning you, it's taking away your consciousness. These are things that we need to reason on, be honest with you. The food that they are giving to you is taking away your consciousness. All this meat, and you have a lot of us, we're conscious, but we're getting cancer, we're getting all kind of disease. And we, even though we know these things, we realize what they're doing, and we've seen how it ravaged others, we still allow it to do the same to us. And yet we say we are conscious. We have to know at this particular time that I will tell you for sure to give up a lot of things, brothers and sisters. Stop saying it's a sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice, because it's something that you're trained to do. They train you to eat these food, to do these things, and for you to be addicted to them. That's why you can't just quit eating them at will, because the addiction, the stuff that they put inside of them to hold you to them, you see, they become gods over you, or a demon that is attached to you. That's basically what they are. Because you hear people, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how you do it. There is no such thing as can't. There is no word. It's just a word that you give, they give to you, and you give power to the word. consciousness, greater consciousness will tell you that you are in charge of everything. And when you know that, then there's nothing that is going to have a hold of you. Because you give it power or you take away the power. It can't have no power if you don't give it. You see, doesn't matter if everybody else around you give it power. When you take that power away from it, it have no control over you. You see, that's what you need to know. I've experienced those things. I'm not just telling you something that I heard. I know that nothing can have a hold of you unless you allow it to. You must know that. I'm not telling you to believe it. You must know that. You see, I'm not telling you to have faith because I don't believe in faith. I know these things. And when you know these things, this is where the difference comes. And then you will really start to see that, yes, I have control. And once I take it, I'm never going to give it back to you. That's what you know. You will know. Knowledge is power when you use it in the right way. You see, because a lot of people, they have knowledge, but they are as ignorant as hell. You see, I tell a lot of people, you know, one of the worst thing is when a man can read and write and have an education and all these degrees, and he's ignorant on top of it. It's a terrible thing. You see. So these are the things that we need to realize. You go to college, you go to university, you get your education. But what is the purpose? What is your education serving? If it is not for the betterment of your people and your community, then we have not come to consciousness. I'm sorry to tell you and to inform you. There's nothing that we have around us that we shouldn't, if we have a skill, if we have a trade, or anything, we should not be afraid to teach it to our brothers and sisters. Because you know what? Teaching it to them is going to elevate you. We should be giving people. That's what consciousness tells us. We should not be holding things back from our brothers and sisters who it is due to. Because when you elevate, don't give something to your brother and sister and look for them to give it back to you. Just give it to them just because, oh, they can afford to give it back to me. No. Give it to them. And they in turn should give it to someone else. And that is what going to elevate you, them, and everybody within your community. See, these are the things that consciousness will do for you. It's going to resonate within you, and it's going to make you feel way better about yourself when you stop focusing just on you, but focusing on your community and your people. Focus on black people, because nobody else is focusing on black people. So the conscious-minded person will focus on his people, on his community, on his nation. That's what you're going to do. It's very important that we realize these things. You see, when you hear a brother, oh, I have a business, I open up a shop where I'm selling clothing. Oh, it's too expensive. You see, you're going to go down there and you're going to go to these other store to buy these so-called expensive goods that is not even worth the paper that the receipt is written on. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you go and you buy these Gucci bag and all these things for how much thousands of dollars. Okay? or how much hundreds of dollars, or shoes, or whatever. How is that benefiting your community? Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. If you know anything about Africa, there's a lot of material there. There's a lot of goods that is right there in Africa being put together. Wonderful products. They don't have the Gucci name on there and the Gucci symbol. But the quality of the material is wonderful. And that's the things that we should be looking for. That's where we should be supported. I'm not telling you that the African people or the black people are perfect in any way. I'm not telling you that you're going to get your best service. But we need to build. And we have to build from somewhere. And we can't be building and tearing down at the same time. You ever seen a person building a house, okay? And every block that he put up, he take it back down. Or he build up the house halfway and he knock all the blocks back down off the house. That is not how you build. Okay? If you're building a house, you reach up and you see, okay, this block here is crooked. You take it back off and you straighten it out and you keep going again. That's what you do. That's what the conscious-minded people do. But they don't tear down while they're building. So every time, if you go to your sister beauty shop, okay, and you know, oh, you didn't like how she do your nails this week, talk to the sister. Okay? Talk to the sister. Yeah. Talk to the sister. Don't go out there and blow up the sister on the internet. It is not the way to do. This is what I'm saying. That's how we need to deal with each other. Keep it within the community. That's what you see the Chinese do. You don't hear them blasting each other on social media and all over the place. They don't. They keep it within their community. So we need to know. You see, it's very, very important that we put ourselves into that frame of mind when we are building up. We cannot be tearing down at the same time. It is not a good thing to do. But because of the state of mind that we find ourselves in, that's why we do what we do. So we have to learn to rinse out our brain, our mind. Remove these bad things from your mind in order for you to grow. When you let them go, you're going to find yourself in a whole different atmosphere, in a whole different way of thinking. You see, these things that you do is because you have been indoctrinated to do them. Consciousness will help you to let these things go. Free yourself from the bondage that you're in. Because it's holding you back. You see, and that's what we need to do as a people. And we need to remind each other, whether it's your friend, whether it's your brother, whether it's your sister. When we realize this, we need to give them a friendly reminder and say, hey, this is not the conscious way, man. We can't build like this. If you see a brother acting up in a brother's store and going off in his store like, you know, some big... No, you need to... Hey, brother, come here, man. Let me talk to you a minute. See, we have to start looking out for each other. White supremacy, they don't look out for each other. They only look out for each other to fight against us and to control us. You see what I'm saying? We are loving people. We need to know that. So we need to stop this thing. Oh, I can't stand that sister. I can't stand that. No. We need to come out of that thinking, come out of that fear, come out of that space and time and that mindset. You have been trained to think that way. Somebody taught you to think that way. You see, and it's mostly against your own that you do these things. You will forgive everybody else, but you don't forgive your own. Now, where is that? How is that so? Why is it? So we have to ask ourselves the question. You see, just like when I ask black people, who teach you about Jesus? Did you accept Jesus willingly? Or was it beat into you? See, we don't ask these questions. Conscious-minded people will ask these questions. And when I ask people these questions, I want them to stop and think, because I'm going to make you think. I'm going to make you think about these things that you think you know. Because you don't really know. You are going off a faith-believe system. That's what you're going off. So you must learn to let that go. You must know where this thing called Christianity come from and how did it came to you. How did you get it? You did not get it willingly. So brothers and sisters, we need to check all of the things that we think we know. We need to check them and double check them. Ask ourselves, where is these things coming from? How did my parents and my foreparents come by these things? And when we do that, we will be surprised of the answers that we come up with. And when we start to ask these people who call themselves so-called Christian and all of that, and they start to say, you know what? I have never thought of it that way. Then you will realize you don't know what you think you know. That's what's going to help you to come out of that mindset. And you're going to grow. You see, because a lot of things is about to happen. And so the knowledge you need to have is going to help to propel you into the future in a great way. And this is very important.
Brother Keston, I saw you coming down to that smooth landing. I don't know if you were completely done, but I just want to thank everybody for being here. And I'm back on. We're back on. For some reason, I got to. Okay, there we go. I can hear myself now. That was my little brain fart. But yeah, we're back on with the live streaming on YouTube. But you never know how long that's gonna last. I had to talk a little talk, and you know it came back. But we're under constant attack. I'm going to be uploading lots of these videos to Black Junction TV. And like I said, go to landscurve.com. That is our own platform. Nobody can take it away from us. And we do have a forum page there that we can vibe this the same way like Facebook, and there is no jail there. But I want to thank you, Brother Keston.
Yeah, and
so
also,
much.
you know,
Yes.
I mean, I want to say, I mean, if brothers want to call in and talk a little bit, I
Yes.
mean, that's, you know, I mean, that's fine. So I give them some time to do that,
Yes.
you know, for a little bit, if they care to do so.
Yes. I'm going to unlock the lines now. The conference.
Conference unlocked.
Nice volume there, so we shouldn't have any sound problems. So if you want to call in, the number's down on the bottom, 888-575-3769. Feel free. Let's keep it rolling. Call in live right now. And we're going to continue on. But like I said, we've been working very hard. We have a lot of things we have planned that we want to do. We need your support. We need you to share the links. We need you to share different things here. And with other people who don't know about what we're trying to do, we're open to topics. And, you know, during the week, I kind of talk about what's going on out there, but try to spin it around for a little lesson, you know, to see the good in situations. But again, I say that most of the time that we see in the media, when we see now, now the focus is on, you know, eating while black or eating at Subway while black or whatever. Yes, these things do happen. And it happened a whole lot even back in the day, just as much. We have a caller here from Sacramento, California. Welcome to the Lance Scurv Show via Brother Keston Show. You want to add anything on? You want to vibe?
Yeah, brother, this is information. And brother,
Okay, let me turn this volume down. Yeah, go ahead.
I was enjoying hearing what the brother was saying. I caught y'all on my man Keith's program the other day.
Yes, and I emailed you back you said you want to do like a little Google Hangout. We'll do that. And like I said, you know, we come strong, we come original, you know, we come very respectful. And you know, like I said, we're not just internet creations, but you know, this is just a small, very small part of what we do in real life. And there's no ego involved. We're very humble. We're servants, and we do have vision. And like again, I do thank Brother Keston for, you know, sharing his time, because he's a man who meditates tremendously and a whole lot, probably more than me. I'm trying to make content for YouTube and stuff and online, but we all have our roles, we all have our abilities, and we bring them together for the greater good, and that's what it's all about. So talk to me, man. What did you want to add in?
Nah, brother, I just want to say that everything that he's talking about is on that dark matter consciousness level. I think we're in America, and in this country, we have been culturally conditioned. So everything he's talking about is about cultural conditioning from the time we were crawling on the floor in this particular hell called North America. And so he's talking about breaking out of this prison of this third dimension that we're in and taking ourselves on a more metaphysical level, getting out of consciousness. And what he said to me was very powerful when he said that before we had cell phones, before we had all these technologies, what did people do before? And I say that people talk to each other more. We have very poor interpersonal skills today because we're more inclined to engage with machines than people. We've allowed machines to take over our intellectual thoughts and spirits instead of engaging with people. So that's what I would like to leave on the table, brother. And so I like what he's saying. I like what you're doing here. It's a damn shame that YouTube is messing with you, but that's what they do with black folks that are bringing real talk and not foolishness. So I appreciate it.
Yes, my brother. You know, appreciate you calling in, and you know, as I said, you know, you are absolutely right. I mean, these are the things, and you write about the communication skill today. Most people, they can't hold down a conversation, because I've been to restaurants where I see a bunch of people sit around the table, and all you see is their cell phone in their hand. None of them mouth is moving. Okay, you see young one, older ones, and everybody there on their cell phone. So that's what we're talking about, you see. So we have to elevate our consciousness by communicating. And if you use these devices, use them to uplift. Don't use them to do these things. And like I tell people, you know, my brother-in-law here will tell you, I don't text, you see, because I tell people, look, these kind of things, and I'm not saying not to text, but when you look at texts that people send to you, sometimes you can't read it. It doesn't make any sense. You see, because they're short typing all these different things. And they don't realize, again, that this is taking away that consciousness that you have. You see, you can't elevate, and that's what they're, you know, yeah.
It's a one-dimensional connection.
Exactly.
More than just a one-dimensional connection.
Right.
And another thing that I've always said, and that's why I use my channel on YouTube to try to put out consciousness, but one of the things that you said that's very important that I've been preaching myself is that our future is really in our children. I mean, there's some of our folks that we may not be able to awaken, and that's just going to be the reality in some cases. But in more cases, we need to work on the minds of our youth, because when they're born into this world, when they're first born, they don't have the poisons in them, you know, metaphorically, the poisons of this world we call America, this world that we live in as it's comprised right now. They grow up, they go into the world, and then they begin to be poisoned by this society. Even if their nature is greater than what society puts on them and their family values, is this evil society puts such a powerful, I don't want to give them too much credit, but they put this sort of conditioning, as I was saying, on our kids. And I think our kids is the ones we need to get to build a future. Then we must realize that a lot of us may not be here to see what that future is, but we set the seeds and plant those seeds right now in the minds of our youth, and then take it and be humble enough to realize that our seeds that we plant are strong enough to give us a better future from exactly the things that you're talking about that we need to do or get ourselves completely away from, brother. That's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to add that. I'm going to listen to go around. Other people probably want to call in, but I appreciate what both of you are doing. Lance, brother, we got to connect and everything. I'll be in contact with you, brother.
Right.
Most definitely, brother. I'm going to be here all weekend waiting for the call. like I said, we got to come together and join forces and stop the foolishness that we've been engaging in. I'm not saying you or I or Brother Keston. I'm just saying overall, there's too many egos out here. There's too much, self-promotion. Yes, we do have to promote ourselves now. What I'm just saying is that, I see especially, and I won't say black YouTube, like it's just one set of people, black YouTube, but many of those who are somewhat iconic and have their voices, they have the little idiosyncrasies, likes, dislikes, but they will not come together. And when the oppressor points the gun at us, he doesn't even care, what religion we are, what we know. I can't even say country of origin. The country we're from is the planet Earth. We're indigenous to the planet Earth. So, but the other little things, he doesn't care about that. All the things that separate us, we care about, but he doesn't care about. Oh, another nigga gone. Are we worried about Baptist, Methodist, Muslim, atheist, Jamaican, Caribbean, African, American, just all this stupidness. We got to get beyond that because we'll never get anywhere. Let me tell you something. At my age, looking up at 60, at 55 years old, I'm like, wait a second. It's the same stuff we talking. I can say, like Brother Keston said, Brother Malcolm and Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, they say, is this what we fought for? Marvin Gaye said, man, I should be making a lot of money because the situations that I sung about, what's going on back in the early 70s and stuff in the late 60s, it's still going on. So that's a soundtrack for it's perpetual. We should be looking back on that song like, wow, we changed things and it's the past now. We're on better ground, better standing. How could we have gotten duped? We don't trust each other, but we trust that white man real quick. We'll dump that money in his pockets. Hey, we have a great investment. You want to come along? Well, they're white. It's probably something good. There's something that we're trying to do with transparency here. It's.
No, I was just going to say I totally agree with you. It's the old mentality that the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice.
Exactly.
His shoes is better. Or, if I'm sick, it's the black doctor. Oh God, I don't want to go to a black doctor because he didn't go to a good school.
That's right.
It's an old saying in America. Let me say this: in America, we are culturally conditioned. We believe that white is superior and black is inferior, and as a manifestation of that, we'll underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize black people. And black people will do it to themselves. White people will do it to us, and we'll do it to ourselves. And that cultural part of that cultural conditioning, brother. So, totally agree with you. I think what you brothers are doing is exactly what we need. It's waking people up, folks like myself. And one thing that's important that come to my mind is that, you hear a lot of this black conscious community. If you're conscious, why do you need to give it a label? That which is conscious, that is in connection with the universe, doesn't need to have a label. It just moves forward and propels itself in a circular fashion, because we as black people are not linear. We are circular people. Right. So if you are a conscious person, you have knowledge, then conduct yourself as such. Just like the brother say, why waste your time arguing with people?
That's right.
You are a conscious person.
It makes no sense. It's a waste of time.
Your behavior.
It's a waste of time, brother.
Yes.
And I'm gonna just give
you with that, brother.
Yes, definitely.
All right, thank you
so much. Information man. And we got brother Robert that just came on. Okay, yeah, there we go. Brother Robert, I know you're here. I blew you up. Maybe I should have stayed quiet. Maybe you just wanted to listen. But I saw you, man, so I don't know if you want to say anything. I see Kamisi Fox in the chat room, man. Call that number. But come on, talk to us, Robert.
Yeah, I just chimed in, Lance. I'm in the background. I'm always listening. So I'm just blessed to be listening to the conversation. I'm really learning a whole lot.
Yes.
I'm going to mute.
Oh, okay. We're probably going to wrap it down soon. If anybody wants to call, we'll give you another 2 minutes to call in. 888-575-3769. Brother Keston Live. We're vibing like we do every Friday. And it's a nice thing. You know what I mean? There's so much filth on the internet. There's so much mind-controlled foolishness to just take your mind away. And like I noticed, Mad Guns. Yes. I don't know if you want to call in Mad Guns because I know you like to stay in the cut. But like you were saying earlier, you would see women, and it's not just a woman thing, we see men too, but people walking out into the street with their cell phones, not even checking the traffic. You shouldn't even be out there. And I used to say 85% of the people who are driving have their phones in their hand, and most of the time I'm looking at them, I'll say 98%, they have their phones in their hand. You can kick them in their private parts. They won't grab the private parts. They'll still hold on to that phone. You put a gun to their head, they'll block it with the phone, but they're not letting that phone go. It's taking the knowledge. You see? Kamisi.
And you know what, Lance?
Yes,
Just like Brother Captain said, we so used to this cell phone, man, and I know for a fact, like you said, that the government got tabs on everybody just by having this phone, and that's part of the farthest thing from everybody's mind that that they could be traced, about what's going on with them through this cell phone. That's half the battle for them.
Go ahead, Brother Keston.
You see, yes, my brother. You see, the thing is that, let me tell you something. I remember back in '89, on the Phil Donahue show, when a ex-CIA agent came on and tell people that the government was putting cameras into their television back then to keep tabs on them, and people would look at this man like he's crazy. You see, the reality is that, we as a people, because we have been trained to believe these things, they take away our knowledge of self. And once they take away your knowledge of self and give you their knowledge and their way of thinking, they have you under full control. You see, and so therefore, this is what the cell phone things, the cell phone phenomena is doing to us. You see, and every time they come up with a new one, we have to get it. And we don't realize this, the more that they have control over us by these things, because everything that you do it on the cell phone. You don't even do it on your computer anymore. You do it on your cell phone. And so therefore, they're gathering all these data on you. They're gathering all these evidence on you. Just like when we go to places now, and in order for you to get a discount, they're telling you that you have to give them your cell phone number, give up your information, and you willingly give it to them in order to get that discount. But you don't know that that's all information gathering. And every time you see all these companies are calling you, these machines are calling you from these different places, it's because of those numbers they package and sell them. And that's why I said your level of consciousness have to continue to raise, that your awareness about what is going on become heightened. And so you will tell them, listen, keep your discount. I'm not interested in that. Okay? I am not selling you my information. I am not giving you my information for free. Because basically that's what you're doing. And they are taking it and use it against you.
Brother Kamisi.
Peace, Brother Lance. Peace, Brother Keston.
Peace, my brother.
And to all the listeners. Yeah, I'm multitasking. That's why I hadn't called in at first, because I caught you at the tail end. I didn't get to hear all of the show, but I do see the topic, and I hear Brother Keston right now. I just want to add my 2 cents. I'll add my 2 cents. I think that the television and movies, old school. There are people, even people who don't even have cell phones, have that crap in their face all the time. I want to issue I don't know what to call it. I'll come up with a name for it. I want to issue the propaganda challenge for everybody to get all forms of propaganda out of their head. The things they think they need and can't do without, I dare you to do without it. Go without watching the TV, even the news. You think you need the news. You think they're telling you something. See if you can live, if you'll survive the next week. Go a whole week without it, and at the end of that week, look back and, tally up what it is you missed. How your life is lost because you didn't have this thing in your life. And then tally up the gains.
Exactly, my brother, and that's a wonderful thought. I tell people that I haven't watched television for quite some time. I don't miss it. I'm not missing anything. I don't feel like I'm losing out on anything. I gain, actually, because my consciousness level has risen. Because you find time to read conscious things about your personal history, about your ancestors' history, about all these things. You have time to do some research. You have time to look into material, documentaries that your brothers have gathered up for you. And so therefore, you're going to see how much time you have lost
by spending those wasted years on these propaganda tool that they have given to you, as you said.
That's right. And those documentaries and those things that you mentioned, black people work hard on these things. People put their lives on the line. You know, some people dedicated their whole lives to getting this information. That's why it just makes sense for us to turn off the TV and delve into what they gave to us, that rich. I mean, we have a treasure chest of knowledge and information, and like we can grow tremendously. And it's one of those things that, you know, if you're standing on the outside and listening to me talk, it might not sound like much, but it's just like you got to try it first. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, my brother.
Or crack.
Exactly. You know, I got a friend of mine. He's got a 12-year-old son, and there's no television in his house. And if you sit down with that 12-year-old, you will think this is a grown man having a conversation with you. Okay?
That's right.
And that's what we need to do to our children. You see? Because they are the future, my brother. They are the ones that is going to make sure that this thing called white supremacy topple over. You see? Along with our ancestors and the universe turning at the point to throw them off it, so to speak. You see? So we have to raise their consciousness level because, like I said, a lot of us as older people, we are not going to move off the thing or the fears that white supremacy put us on. We're not going to move off of there because the fact is that this brother said one dimension. We are on this like a train going down one set of track and with no return. You see, that's what we have become as a people. You see. And it's a sad state of affair to be in.
I think so. Yes, totally agree. And it makes it so we can't, even when we come together, that we're not together.
Exactly.
When we come together, even with information, trying to do the knowledge thing. When you have these, there's sometimes we come together, and there's elements of us that just, our talking points are centered around holding on to this present situation. And when you do that, to me, you know, we have the ingredients, we have everything there. We got, you know, it's like a machine or a car. You know, you got the steering wheel, you got gas, you got this, you got that, but then the transmission is missing.
That's a good analogy, my brother. You know,
that's why I put a lot of sometimes some things, because it's just like there are certain things that we certain things, certain talking points that we hold on to that keep telling us about that says that we like the world the way it is. You know,
yes,
like
absolutely.
We can drop a little knowledge, but you know, we really don't want to leave this world, though. I mean,
you know, I tell you a funny thing, my brother, about what you just said. Okay, and I'm sure you often hear this one. You will hear black brothers and sisters, yes, we have to get some more black people in Congress, and we have to get some more black people in the Senate. We have to get them in these offices, and they're gonna change things around for us. You see, and you already know that ain't gonna happen. That is not going to do that. You see, and so
absolutely,
we are, as you said, we are holding on to a system that need to be gone already. You see, we are propping it up by doing these things, you see, and getting involved. Why do we need to get involved? We should be saying all we need to do is withdraw from white supremacy and let it topple. Is what I'm saying.
Over 60 years of programming that these people have put in place since they implemented, what was it? When they had the black man couldn't be in the house, welfare. What was that, Section 8? You know,
I don't know if you're on the speakerphone, brother.
Programming and terror in our community.
You know, and a lot of that came from the Rockefellers, you know, like, and that's why I encourage people to go back and watch that interview, Aaron Russo. You know, at the time he was the governor of Nevada, you know, and he had a conversation with Nicholas Rockefeller. And Nicholas Rockefeller really broke down, you know, what women's liberation was about. Because a lot of that shit came out of women's liberation. And if you can recall, a lot of black
To
women
review
was
the
down with...
voicemail, press 1. To send the voicemail now, press 2.
Somebody got to get their act together. Hitting buttons over there.
For special sending options, press
I sent a
4.
voicemail.
No, somebody. We have other callers on the line. Introduce yourself, brother. The last brother that was talking.
Press 1. To send the voicemail now, press 2. To discard and re-record, press 3.
That's my Florida brother. That's your phone.
4.
That's my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the graphs over here. I can see.
Press 1. To send the voicemail now, press 2. To
You have an electronic stalker.
the voicemail sent.
Whose phone that is?
I think she likes you. She's gonna knock on your door.
I was tempted to press 1.
I know what's going on.
Yes. Somebody here's on a speakerphone. If you are, or you have a computer on in the background, cut it off because I'm getting feedback, but it's not coming over from this side. But continue on, brothers. We're not gonna stay on too long, but we're gonna vibe a little bit because like I said, we got some obligations and stuff, but we want to hear from everybody. So go on and flow for a little while, y'all.
Brother Lance, I got a question for Brother Lance.
Go ahead.
Did Sister Kim call into your show disguising her voice for real?
Did who?
True Royal call into your show disguising her voice.
Lots of people do, man. And people like that, yes. A lot of people do that. Folks out here want shine. They don't want to put in the work, or they want to piggyback on somebody else. Like I said, this is not about YouTube hits. This is not about let me get on this other person's channel to get more hits or do whatever. We live a balanced life. We try to say that. We try to show that. It's not about putting anybody down, but like I said, I don't want to get into all of that insidious, venomous, one-man upmanship. That's not what we do here on this channel. If you're real about doing what you do, and that's why I try to show that. We go to events. We put our own money in. We vibe with people. We let people talk. Like me, I don't ever try to go on anybody else's show and just run my mouth and oh, please give me hits. Subscribe, please. Give me hits. I don't do that. Look, I'm not the only store in the mall. We have many stores in the mall. You might not ever come to my store to buy anything, but if you need to use a restroom, I'm going to let you use it. You see what I mean? But I'm not going to let it be exploited. We as black people, the real black people who are not just mere YouTubers, but the ones who are real out here doing what we have to do, you understand? You know, we got to separate ourselves from that kind of foolishness and that kind of narrative. Because I know back in the civil rights movements, which should have been a human rights movement, there was more unity. But we become intoxicated. I'm saying overall, I'm not saying this to anybody in particular, because your body of work speaks for itself. Your body of work speaks for itself, and people can see if you are real or not. So I don't worry about even validating myself. Say it again? Say it again?
I said, don't ask no long ass. Don't ask no long ass questions on phone.
Are you saying that? We were just talking about this cell phone thing.
No, that's what he's talking about.
Okay, there's something going on here as far as the sound. Everybody's talking at the same time.
Do that, man. That's gospel.
Energy.
Yeah, okay. No, but a question was posed to me, and it's been posed to me a whole lot because, you know, those questions are posed to me by people who are sent to me by people who want to put their name out. It's sad. It's sad because me at 55 years old, there's so much in this life that I want to do. And it was never my life goal to just sit in front of a computer and just babble with no results. If I can affect somebody through the artwork, the writing, the talking, Brother Keston, Mrs. Scurv out here with the cooking. And yes, Brother Keston is a heck of a cook. Mrs. Scurv, I don't know, might be neck and neck with you. But it's living a full life and sharing the fact that you're living a full life to inspire other people to do so. Maybe my life is not the fullest that it can be, but as it fills up, share that. Share different things that are diverse that people can say, you know what? I don't have to be just a rapper or a thought or an Instagram, you know what? Or a basketball player or a boxer. There's so many things creatively that we can develop on the inside of us that the Creator has given to us to develop. But just to end up on that particular issue that I see on YouTube a lot, like I said, your body of work speaks for itself. You put your money where your mouth is. You spend your time doing real things. And then when you do the real things, you come back on YouTube and you talk about those things and you bring other people on and you invest in yourself and the people who are willing to put in the work. Look, if I say I'm going to be the heavyweight champ of the world and I'm 35-0 and got knocked out, not 35-0, but 0-35, you won't believe in me after a while. But if year in and year out, morning, noon, and night, you see the consistency, you know, that's not an issue. Okay, so anybody else have anything they want to say?
We talking about these no good Mexicans running around here killing black men, and we're gonna have to put together some kind of militia that act according towards these Mexicans.
Okay, we joined up the shows. Is this brother Keith? I've been talking to Keith the whole time. I'm seeing another name. That's what it was. I didn't realize this was you, brother.
Me? That wasn't me. That was Zoe.
I didn't even realize it, brother. I'm sitting here talking to you like you a stranger.
Oh, I asked that question. Yeah, I asked that question because to me, that's important for Black Panther team too. We can't be playing games on people's shows and platforms when we try to handle business. And you know what I'm saying? So I didn't necessarily mean to put nobody's name out there, but
no, they'll appreciate it though. They'll appreciate it.
How you doing, brother Keith?
Look, man, that's gospel. Let's get back to the real issue.
No. It is something that needs to be addressed. It's gossip if you don't learn from it and grow from it. But there are conditions amongst us on YouTube, and I'm gonna probably do a 5-hour monologue, just straight talking, going in without mentioning anybody's names. But it's an intoxicant because it's indicative of the deeper problem that we have, that we like to wear our esteem on our sleeve, and we like to be seen. We like to be seen. And to the detriment of our people and to ourselves, we'll sell our soul to be seen. The women, how my butt look, how my hair look, how my nails, how this look. What the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? People get on YouTube and it fills a void. Let me just finish what I'm saying. People get on YouTube and somehow it fills a toxic void inside of them because finally I can be heard. It's a soapbox that anybody can get. There's no charge to get a YouTube platform. There's no charge to get a Facebook platform. It's what you do with it. And some people will have a co-psychosis and they join together and they babble their way to death, never leaving anything behind, taking the knowledge that you have, and you can't aid in gaining any knowledge because you touch this thing and it's like diarrhea. The more that you eat, the more that comes out. And after a while, it hurts to deal with you because it's a repetitious thing that doesn't go anywhere. Just the same while it hurts to wipe. When you got diarrhea, you just, whew, oh God, I gotta go again. Oh man, I gotta deal with this pain. You know what I mean? And you dread it. You sit there on the toilet just open, okay, I'm not getting up because that means I'll just sit here for 5 minutes. I know it's coming again. So I'll get, one wipe will cover 2 expulsions. You see, not to get nasty, but you know, where are we going with it? I remember one day when I had many people around me who I don't have around me now. And their goal was to disrupt or just talk about sex or just talk about decadence and females getting on, talking about their skills when they're on their knees, and I'm not talking to pray, all of that stuff. And I sat here, and my head really started hurting. And I said, man, is this what it's all about? Is this week after week and day after day? Is this what it's all about? So I did a whole year monologues. There was no more live shows. So when the flies can't find doodle to land on, they'll find another pile, wouldn't they? So I wasn't cool no more because I wanted to do something with a little higher vibration. I'll still talk to everybody. from wherever you are, but you got to show me something else, because that you talking from where you are may help somebody who's in the same place, but you have to show that you want to go to the next level. I don't care if you're a prostitute, a crackhead, a meth addict. I don't care. We'll roll. If you don't want to talk to the camera, we'll talk on the mic. So we'll talk about where you are and where you want to go and coming out of it. I'm down with that. But to sit here in your house, you're paying for an internet connection, you're wasting 3 and 4 and 5 hours, take your fat behind to the gym. You could be working out. You're sitting here eating cheese doodles and fingers orange on and black people this, and this, black people, and white folks are laughing. I want to put together a graphic picture where we have a person morning, noon, and night on the computer, and you see windows behind them. And in one window, you'll see the Indian man selling some stuff at the 7-Eleven and whatever, making money. You'll see the Korean selling hair to you, making money. You'll see other people building, and you on a computer talking about revolution. We can communicate. That's about it through this. We got to come together as real people and incorporate what we learn in real life. But just sitting here, revolution, and I hate white people, revolution, I hate white people, and yeah, they do this. Look, I mean, there's no more of a fine example than Brother Keston here, who does in his life. He's really about it. He's helped me raise my game up higher. And do you think he has a Facebook page? He don't even text. If you text him, he might get to you in a year and a half. That's how important texting is to him. You call him, he's there. So I want to be more like him, because you know what? This internet thing at one point in my life was dragging me in, and I didn't want it. It was a living hell. All these voices in my head. Anyway, give us another minute or two, y'all, and then we're going to wrap this up. And we'll let Brother Keston bring it down.
Hey, Brother Keith, are you there?
I'm here, but that was so got.
No.
I don't know what Lance talked about.
No.
Goddamn, don't get the fuck up. Shit.
How are you tonight, my brother?
Yeah. I was good. Just start talking crazy.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
I'm good, my brother. Doing good.
We're good. Glad that you're on, man. And like I said, we got to do something on the regular, and we will. And I'm looking forward to you, man. Every time, man, you sneeze, I learn something, because wisdom comes out. Seriously.
I'm looking forward to do every Sunday, like we were talking about. You know, especially with Brother Kent. Oh, he gets it spiritual. Like I said, he was one of them motherfuckers cooking those people up.
Well, you know what? We're going to make it right. You know what I mean? That's why we're going to. And if he was one of them cooking up, trust me, I was the one chopping the heads off, bringing them to him so he can cook them. You know what I mean? So we got to make it right now. It's never too late to make it right. But, you know, the oppressor has to fall in line. And they're listening. I wonder, you know, we had somebody from the House of Representatives listening to them before. Of course, we had somebody from here who's running for Congress. Maybe Trump might come on and get cussed out. We don't know. But, you know, when you're doing something right, you know, people are listening. When you're just a babbling, you know, just a babbling head, it's just like entertainment for them, because you're running around in circles. And that's why I appreciate you, Brother Keith and Brother Keston, for sharing the knowledge and being real and giving us something that we can use. I mean, everything you told me on those other shows, I never learned in school. Matter of fact, everything you told me, I never even saw on an Instagram meme. I'm like, you coming from a different planet. You talk about you appreciate Brother Keston and I. Man, you're valuable. I'll be your bodyguard anytime, because we can't have any harm come to you.
Amen. You know, Lance, you better explain that Van Allen belt, man, because I was astonished when he mentioned that, and then I researched and saw what it was. Man, we like living in the Truman Show.
The stuff I teach, you're not gonna learn in school. I didn't learn in school. You're not gonna exactly. You can go look into the urban rap into a Van Allen belt. We're in a soul there. And black people are the guys who got us of this planet. That's a fact. So I don't know who gets mad about that. I don't care all these good. That's why people can't follow us. Because just like Brother Kessler said, I come a little harder. All these goofy religions have got to go.
All these goofy religions got to go, huh? That's right.
You see, and that's where... No, go ahead, brother.
I was telling Lance at one time in school, you know, I think the only way black people are going to get their pride back in them is that a spacecraft will have to land and where everybody can see it, and a Negro will have to walk out, then everybody's going to want to be black. That's just
no, but you know what's going to happen? The media propaganda and spin masters will come and say the nigga stole the spaceship, and half of us will believe it.
You see, the thing is, though, my brother, you see, that ain't going to happen. If that's what that we're looking for, that ain't going to happen. You see, we who come to know ourselves, you see, brothers like Brother Keith and all our brothers in the conscious community, as I said, we have to come together and we have to teach our brothers and sisters these things, because it's very important that we resonate that we get together as one people. We have to start build. You know, we're going to start having some gatherings, and we'll let you brothers know, you know, we're putting some things together at a particular place that we can come together at least once a month, and we're going to be discussing these subjects that we're talking about. So we're looking forward to doing these things, and so we want to have your brothers involved. Go ahead, my brother.
You can get that 70-year-old man to give up Jesus.
You know,
that's where we at right now. That's how far gone our people.
That's how far we go. You know, they want to change the funny part about it. That's what a Hebrew Negro like. He don't want to give up the nonsense Jesus. He want to put a black face on it. But keep the same goofy story and put a black face on it. So I'm not a Christian no more. I'm a Hebrew Negro like. I just got story, fraudulent, stupid. Jesus.
You see, you know, our dear brother Malcolm said something that is very important, and this is what I'm going to leave you guys with. What he says is that, you know, listen, when we come together as black people, we need to leave all these religion home in our closet. Okay? If it's not about black empowerment and black people, it's not important. And that's the reality, my brothers. You know, I want to say to all your brothers out there, one love, peace as always, and we will meet again.
Yes, brothers. Thank you all so much. We're going to wrap this down. And I hate to wrap it down, but we got to skedaddle. But you know this is the weekend, so we're going to be back on. I know tomorrow night, Brother Holla wanted to have, I forgot the name of what the program name was, but he, you know, he's going to go in and he hollers at you so strong that if you're not conscious, you feel like your legs are broke. So it's going to be tomorrow night. We haven't made a time. It's going to be relatively not late, but it's going to be down in the evening. I have a few things I have to do. Do all you have to do, and I'll put the time up, but I guarantee we're back with the live stream, and we will be doing this again. And like I said, it's been an honor and a pleasure, and I'm going to wrap this down. And like I said, download the Lance Scurv app at the Google Play Store, the App Store, and Amazon. You can, and I'm going to put the message right across the screen so you can see it. Okay, text the keyword SCURV to the short code number 74121. Now, folks have gotten that wrong, and they've been texting me on my cell phone the keyword SCURV. No, don't send it to 407-590-0755. Send it to 74121. And that's the number that you'll use, just like a phone number, and put the keyword SCURV in there, SCUR. There's no E at the end of that. It's SCUR to 74121. And that will automatically put you in with the mobile text alert, so when we go live, even if it's something that's not scheduled, you'll get it and a link and a picture right in your smartphone. So all you have to do is click that link and you'll be right in on the show. You see what I mean? So that's how we do it, and that's how it's going to be done. Other than that, like I said, we're going to do this again.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, always a pleasure, always an honor.
You know.
Daggone right. Everybody take care on Facebook. You're only seeing Brother Keston because we have the one camera there. We're going to wrap this up. And over here with us over here on YouTube, we're going to wrap it up. And I want you to, give your feedback, share the links, and whatever you like, tell me, hit me up, 407-590-0755. Text me that, all right? And we're going to talk to you all later. Peace, love, and light, always. Take care. Bye-bye.